our minds are not still, and only through meditation and similar practices we can truly find a way to accomplish what we want. And tonight the topic is about how to obtain a positive letter of recommendation. In teacher's experience, the topic is very much ignored. You did a little search on the internet, and the information that was presented there was very poor. It was more or less mechanics, how to obtain a positive letter of recommendation. And the teacher today would like to go over this part in a very short time. It is something that you need to know, and the future listeners to the video would like to know. But he would like to emphasize more the part of this speech that has to do with how you should see the process of obtaining a recommendation letter. To realize and to recognize and to comprehend that could be, if we decide to do so, to be a growing process inside, a within growing process by just trying to obtain the positive letter of recommendation. The teacher has been invited 3 times from AMSA to lead a workshop for this pre-med conference that are happening every year in the fall. The first time he was able to do it, the second time was the week that his father passed away, he couldn't do it. This year again it happened, it was very successful, and the reason is because we had a lot of time to answer questions. And tonight, this is what we're going to try to do. Before we go into that, so you feel free to ask any questions you want, just to make sure that you will have the good questions to ask, the ones that we really need to know the answers. You have pens, you have a notebook. So as the teacher goes over a few points, make sure you put down what you think you need to know. That most likely will be also a question for other people, and everybody can benefit. The way that it was presented, the seminar from the AMSA committee people, students, was that they advertised this way. Basically was telling the teacher, do this. Explain how students should go about getting to know the professors, which is a question that always comes up. Students will be interested in what the best ways are to go about asking a professor for a letter of recommendation. Explain how students can ensure that they will receive a letter that attests to their best qualities, and explain what students should do if a professor does not feel comfortable writing them a letter of recommendation. It is surprisingly that the search that the teacher did on the internet really did not show anywhere a list of things that the different institutions ask the professors to really answer when the students ask for a recommendation letter. Before the teacher forgets about it, one of the, I think, it seems like to be also one of the points that will be made, but one of the best ways to really prepare for this is to go, even the first quarters of your college life, first year, to go, if possible, to go to one of the days that, the commencement, how you call the days that the students finish their college. The commencement, how you call it? The graduation day. It is very good to go there and see, hear the speeches. It's a very good preparation for you to be able to do to know what to do about recommendation letters. So here is something like many times the different institutions ask a teacher to, in order to write, to comment about the abilities of a student who is applying to enter graduate school, medical law, it doesn't matter, or for a scholarship. Sounds like this. Rose, Ocean is applying for admission to graduate school and possibly financial assistance at the University of Hope. We would appreciate your personal impression of the applicant's intellectual ability, research aptitude, or professional skill. Please comment on the applicant's character, the quality of previous work, and promise. If applicable, please include any known obstacles the applicant may have had to overcome, economic, cultural, educational, or other disadvantages. There is a list then, besides the letter of recommendation. Most of the time, the institutions are asking a number of questions, and they give 1 to 5 circles to put a dot, to choose from 1 to 5 how you rate the student. And these 12, approximately a dozen of things are the following. To comment on maturity, reliability, interpersonal relations, character, capacity for independent thinking, motivation for graduate research, research skills, problem-solving abilities, work habits, coursework performance, potential for scientific achievement, and an overall rating. Now, for the years of the experience a teacher has, it has become obvious that students do not really know how to go about to obtain a recommendation letter. He believes that it's probably the same experience from every one of his colleagues. And it seems to be like it's our own fault, because we do not have a way to advise the students from the first year, should be really not the last year, to really how to go about to do this. And hopefully this video will be very valuable to the future students that will be listening to it. Instances there are that students, they are in the 4th year. Sometimes they leave the college, and after 1 or 2 years, they will send an email and they will say, do you remember me? You were such and such great teacher, and I liked you, and will you please write a recommendation for me? And the teachers, they teach hundreds and thousands of students. They can't even recall the name. They can't even recall the face. It doesn't matter how gracious the letter will be and how uplifting it will be for the student, the teacher needs to know about the student. And the only thing he can do is to go in his older files, spell the name, and find out what grade the student got. But that is seen in the transcripts. It is absolutely not necessary for the teacher writing a recommendation letter to really put down how good he is intellectually, academically, the grade, because they can see it on the transcript. And teachers believe is that a lot of teachers are feeling distressed to do this, to try to make up some things. Somehow from here and there, just collect a little bit of information, maybe from a personal statement. But these are things that are coming in the papers. It's not really reality. You do not know the student. How can you write a letter like that? Just pulling up things from the papers that the student provides you? That's not a recommendation letter. It's supposed to be called a recommendation letter. And teachers start feeling so frustrated after a few years, actually, because there were a lot of students coming up and asking for a recommendation letter. And he said to his wife, you know what? I'm going to really think about this seriously. This is not the way to go. To spend time and frustrated to make up things from the personal statements and here from there to write a recommendation letter. The teacher said, I don't think this is the right thing to do. And I don't know what the colleagues do, but it doesn't look like to be truthful and useful to the students. So the teacher thought about it quite some time, and with a little bit search, he realized that there is no really almost at all teaching and a way to advise the students how to do this. So let's use this time tonight here to touch these things.